good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching. This is TAM Talk About It with Munaji, and this is your host, Anne Munaji. Thank you for tuning in and for being my subscriber. I really appreciate. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, this is your time to subscribe and click on that bell so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be among the first people to be notified. Today we have an interesting topic. As you can see, guys, I am alone. This means it is me and you guys here. I have a topic that is very interesting, a topic that is very important, especially to people who are looking forward to getting married. Yes, I'm sure you've heard this, whatever I'm going to talk about, from different people. Some have not heard. I'm just here to talk to people who have no idea of what I'm going to talk about. I'm also going to shed light to those of us who know but kind of forgot. So I'm giving you a reminder of the most important things to talk about before you get married. The most important things to talk about before you get married. I am only 7 months old in my marriage. I've sat with people who've gone ahead of me. Some 2 years, some 10 years, some 30 years, you name it. I'm sure some of you have also interacted with people who have more experience in marriage and have told you these same things. It's good for us to remind ourselves and to remind those that are coming to join us. So stay tuned. I know you will love this video. So the first thing is children. Very, very important for you and your partner to talk about children. How many children, how many kids do you guys want to have? Does your partner want children? Some people don't want children, they just want a partner. It is good for you to know if your partner wants children. It's also good for you to know if your partner doesn't want children, so that you may know your stand. It's good to walk on the same page. It's good to walk with if your partner doesn't want children, then it's good for you to walk out if at all you want children. If your partner wants children and you don't want children, it's okay for you to say, you know what, this is not what I want. It's okay for you to speak. People have different views of children, so it's okay for you to speak up and let your partner know what you want in your marriage when it comes to children. Another thing is upbringing. The same as we continue with the children topic, we're going to talk about upbringing. How have you and your partner been brought up? You know, we come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different belief systems. So how is all this going to impact your children? If at all you guys want children, is what you went through going to affect the way you bring up your child? If you have traumas from your childhood experiences, it is very, very important for you to work on them before getting kids or children, so that you don't go ahead and affect the lives of your kids because of how you were brought up. That is very, very important. Another thing to note as we talk about children is education. Are you coming from a cultural background that believes in education? Some people don't believe in taking their kids to school. So does your partner believe that children should be empowered through education, or is he or she of the fact that people are not supposed to go to school? So it's very, very important for all these things to be brought up. Adoption. When we talk of children, there are those partners that are not able to get kids. So it is very, very important for you to talk to your partner. Are you guys willing to adopt children if one of you guys is incapable, of both of you cannot get kids? This is a very sensitive issue, but it's good to discuss. before marriage, so that it does not affect your marriage. It's good to walk on the same page. Like I keep saying, it's good to walk on the same page concerning children. So another thing is discipline. How would you want to discipline your kids? Would you be okay if your partner disciplines your kids in public? Would you be okay if another person disciplines your children? Would you be okay with the mode of discipline that your partner thinks is right for your children? It's okay and it's good and very, very important to talk about discipline. Like I said, people are coming from very, very different backgrounds. Some believe in canes, some believe in punishments. So whatever the case is, talk about it and let your partner understand this is where you are at and what you believe. Also get to hear what he or she believes, then come up with one ground of how you guys would want to discipline your children. I think that's it when we talk of children as at now. Maybe one thing that I'm leaving behind is the mode of value you would want to install in your children. Have you been brought up in a society or in an environment that believes drinking alcohol reduces stress? Are you brought up in an environment that believes in violence? All these moral values pay an impact in how you relate with your spouse, which will also affect your children. So how are you guys going to talk about values? Are your values different? How are you guys going to come up with this specific system of values that is going to affect or impact your children positively? So the mode of value that you install in your children is very, very important. That is number one. The other thing we are going to talk about is conflict. We are going to talk about conflict. So how do you communicate when you're angry? How do you communicate when you're mad? How do you react to anger? If someone wrongs you, how do you react? It's good for your partner to get to understand how you react to different things that make you angry. So what triggers your anger? If your partner understands this, then it also helps them to understand how to relate with you. How do you handle disagreements? Whether it's with your friends, with your family, with whoever, how do you handle disagreements? Are you the kind of person that wants to fight physically? Are you the kind of person that wants to calm down and just talk later? Are you the kind of person that wants to deal with it here and now? Are you the kind of person that doesn't want to talk about it now or forever? It's good for you guys to talk about this and also understand what mode of conflict resolution will work for both of you, so that as you go into marriage, because in marriage there are also many other things that cause conflict. So if you guys understand how to deal with each other even right before marriage, it's going to be easy. It's going to be easy when you guys have conflict, because you already know, oh, this is how my partner wants to handle this thing, and this is how I should handle my partner. On the same conflict, it is also good for you to understand how your partner will react if you and your in-laws will ever happen to be in any form of disagreement. Is he or she the type of partner that will side with his or her family and first, then you second, or is this kind of a person that stands with their partner first, then their family later? Is he or she a person that can be able to balance and make sure that there is peace between the whole extended family and no one leaves the place hurt? Is your partner capable of bringing peace even when he feels or she feels you're wrong? Are they able to protect you when you're wrong and deal with you later? It's good for you guys to talk about these things, so that when you guys have these kind of things later in life, and you have a misunderstanding with either of your in-laws, then you know where your husband or your wife stands at. I think that's it when we talk of conflicts. Maybe one other thing is, on top of that, is divorce. Is your partner the kind of person that would choose divorce if you ever hurt him or her in a bad way? Is that the only option they have? What do they think about divorce? What would make them divorce you? It's good to talk about these things. What does it mean? What does it mean? How far is too far when it comes to conflict? What would lead to divorce? Let your partner understand all these things, so that you guys don't just start your marriage. It's 1 week and there's this big blow, and all of a sudden someone picks up their bags and they're like, you know what, I cannot do this. So it's very, very important to discuss about these things. The next one is religion. The next one is religion. So what about religion? How is your partner's religious background? Where have they been brought up from? Who do they believe in? What are their religious beliefs? It is also good for you to have a partner that is on the same page with you. You don't want to raise kids with confusion of identity, religious identity. I think that's very, very important. Like for me, I am a Christian, and it is very, very straight from when I was dating to courtship to marriage. I have to date and get married to a person who believes in God the way I do believe in God, who shares the same Christian values the way I do, so that when we go into marriage, we have the same belief systems, and there's no kuvurutana here and there, because this is how I believe, you should follow how I believe, this is how I believe. What is the role of a man and the role of a woman, depending on who you believe in? For us, we follow the Bible as Christians, and whatever it says is what we follow. It helps us understand how to even live with each other, and to bring our house in harmony. We do that because we know we are children of God, and Christ lives in us. So for us, it's God. So are you comfortable with marrying someone who is not of the same religion as you? That is up to you. It's a very, very personal decision, and no one should tell you what to do. You are supposed to just make the decision on your own. Another thing is birth control. What does your religion say about birth control? Some will say you're not supposed to use these things, you're supposed to go the natural way. Some don't want many children, so the best thing you can do is birth control method. This is also something that both of you should just talk about. It's a very, very serious and sensitive topic that both of you should talk about. Again, it's good to get to know if your partner is willing to see a gynecologist, so that you guys can be advised more on what is good for your bodies, what is not good for your bodies, so that you don't just go and use any form of birth control. If something happens to you, if they bring negative effects to your body, then you start blaming each other. Ni wewe hauku seek medical advice, or so and so and so. So it's very, very important for you guys to walk on the same page. Go to the gynecologist together, get tested together, know what is good for your bodies together. This is something that is very, very vital, something that might impact your bodies or your fertilities in the near future. So it is a decision that should be made together as a couple, even as you go ahead to getting married. Let's talk about the wedding. Your religion plays a very key role in how your wedding day is going to look like. I don't know how a Christian and a Hindu wedding would look like, because I have not seen that. People are coming from very different religious beliefs. They have different ways of handling their own ceremonies. So for us as Christians, we have our own way. For Catholics, they have their own way. For Hindus, for Buddhists, name them, they have their own way. So it's good to get to understand, is this the picture I want for my wedding? Is my family going to accept this? Are my friends going to be okay with this? Are you going to be okay with this as a person? Because you come first before your friends, your family, and whoever. If you are comfortable, then everyone else should be comfortable. Now, what does your partner's religion say when it comes to infidelity? Are they encouraged to have polygamous marriages? Are they encouraged to have monogamous marriages? Are you okay with that? Are you okay with polygamy? Are you okay with monogamy? Are you okay with infidelity? Is it something that you would forgive? Is it something that you will never look back if it ever happens? Such things, just talk about them. And these things are not things you just talk about in one day. Have different meetings with your partner, have different times when you just talk about this kwa urefu, kwa upana na urefu. Kuwa na muda wa kuongelelea hizi vitu kwa upana na urefu, so that it sinks. Even as you guys continue to walk towards the journey of marriage, it has, by the time you're going to say yes I do, kuna vitu zime sink kabisa. They should sink in, yani mkiingia pale kuna vitu zingine hakuna mtu atafanya, sababu mnajua hii hapa mpenzi wangu apendi, hii hapa nini pale. So these are things that should be noted kabisa. Another thing is finances. They're very, very important. Yani pesa, wanasemanga pesa ni maua, lakini pesa inaleta shida sana. Watu wanafaa wakubaliane kwa vitu tofauti when it comes to money. Let's talk of debts, madeni. You don't want to get into marriage na partner wako huku akona madeni zile zenye zinaenda kuaffect ndoa yenu. Because when you guys get married, you already have a budget of things you want to do, where you want to live, sofas you want to buy, a very nice bed you want to buy, name it, utensils, nini hapa na pale. So talk about debts. How does your partner feel about debts? Do they have debts that they have not finished paying? Is it something that you're okay with? Is it something that you cannot compromise? Yes. Is it something you cannot compromise? Transparency is very key to partners. If you have a debt, it is good to talk to your partner. Let them understand, this is where I am standing at financially. This is what I owe somebody. This is how I am planning to pay this particular money. It is not going to affect our marriage. It is not going to affect our wedding. It is not going to affect our lives. This is my business and I'm going to finish it before the wedding. If your partner is okay with helping you finish your debt, then that's okay. That's very, very okay. But talk about debts. Let them know how you feel about debts. Do you guys feel okay if you borrow this certain amount of money to do this certain project together? Yes or no. Talk about it as early as when you guys are preparing for marriage. Yeah. Financial expectations. Are you the type of person that feels, pesa yangu ni yangu na ya mzee ni ya nyumba? With that I mean my money is my money and that of my husband is family's money. There's that thing that a lot of people have in their minds, and it's okay because that is what they believe in, and maybe they find partners who are okay with that. But it is okay to talk about financial expectations. It is very, very okay to talk about financial expectations. What kind of work would you want your stay-at-home mom to do? Are you okay with your wife staying at home, taking care of kids and the house? Are you the type of man that wants the woman to work as hard as you want yourself to work? Are you the type of woman that would want your finances? What would you want to do with your finances? Financial expectations. If I am earning this amount of money, how would you want me to budget it for the house? Are we okay with having one account or multiple accounts together? It is good to talk about all these things. If I had this certain amount of money as a wife, would I be okay to use it for a family project if my husband is not in a position to do this and this? It is very, very okay and important to talk about it. Money distribution in the house, of course. There's house rent, there are bills, water bills, what else? Many things. Nyumba ina mambo mingi, kuna maji, kuna nini hapa na pale, kuna watoto, kuna all these things. So how do we distribute our money? How do we make sure at the end of the month we have everything sorted? How do we make sure at the end of the month or at when we are getting our salaries, this is the amount that should go to the bank, for savings? How do we want to distribute our money? How much are we saving for the children? How much are we saving for this business? How much are we keeping for the house? How much are we paying the house manager? All these things should be talked about. It's very, very important. Whether you're earning small or whether you're earning big, it's very, very important to just talk about finances and the money distribution. How do you guys want to spend your money? If your partner is an overspender, how will that make you feel? Such things. Kama mtu wako ni wa kutumia pesa sana na wewe ni ule unapenda kusave, mtasaidianaje ili muwe on the same page? Because you guys have to walk on the same page. So how are you going to tackle money related issues, especially spending money? If you're getting 50,000 in a month and your partner is getting 30, how are you going to spend that money so that the house is sorted, you guys are sorted, the children are sorted, and the bills are sorted? This is something that all of you should talk about. The next thing is family. Family is very, very important. There is family history, there is family background, there is family culture, family history of diseases and genetic, abnormalities. All these things, very, very sensitive to talk about. How does your partner relate to his or her family? How is their relationship? This plays a key role in how he or she is going to relate with you as a partner. Do they have a history of drug and substance abuse? Is this something that is affecting their family at large? How will this affect your family that you guys want to create together? Very, very important to discuss. And if you're comfortable with how patterns of your partner's family is, then that's okay. If you're not comfortable, then you guys have a room of speaking about it, and before going into marriage, it's good to talk about it and know your stand, so that when you go ahead and one day get children who have inherited the same genetic disorders, it doesn't go back to blaming each other. Let's talk about in-laws. How would you want, how many times would you feel okay if your in-laws come to stay at your place? How often would you want them to visit? How many days are comfortable for you? Would you be okay with them sleeping over? All these things are very, very important to talk about. How would your partner handle family issues? How does he handle family issues? Who comes first between you and their family members? It's okay for you and to talk about these things, because kuna watu wengine kwao ni watu wao kwanza, kisha wewe hapo katikati. So ni vizuri kujua your place in your partner's heart, so that whenever this kind of things happen, you know this is my partner's stand. I don't know if we are together. What else? We talked of drugs and substance abuse. Very, very important. Are they alcoholics? Are you okay with being with his family members being alcoholics? Do they have a history of witchcraft and all those things? Does your religion believe in such? Talk about all of these things and get to know. Talk about family conflicts. How would your partner handle a conflict between his or her mother and you, his or her sisters, brothers and you? Get to know their stand when it comes to their family and when it comes to you, so that you guys don't go to marriage then mnaanza kuvurugana sababu ya familia. Oh, umemweka mamako mbele, umemweka dadako mbele, kisha mimi unaniweka number 2. No, just talk about it. Get to know how your family would feel if you ever choose your family's side over him or her. Very, very important. So another thing is there a history of drug and substance abuse in your partner's family? Is there a history of violence? Are these people, are they peacemakers? What is their family dynamic like? Get to know all these things, so that it doesn't go and usiende unashtuka, this is how my husband or wife is, sikujua kumbe iko kwao. Inaanzianga pale pale nyumbani. So get to know how all these things have affected him or her. Kama yeye ako alcoholic, enda uchimbe uangalie kama iko kwa familia. Is it something that anaweza acha kwa urahisi? Is it something that would require a lot of time? Are you willing to wait? Are you willing to be okay with your husband having difficulties za kuachana na drugs na hizi vitu zote? Kwanza, is your partner okay with drugs? Is he or she okay with drugs? Are you yourself okay with drugs? Hizi ni vitu zenye mnafaa muongelele. It goes back to moral values and religious beliefs. It goes back to whatever we talked about earlier. So let's talk about friends. What kind of friends would you want your partner to hang around with? What kind of people do you feel okay? Do you feel safe around if your husband or wife or partner, let's say partner because you guys have not gotten married yet. So what kind of friends play a good impact on your partner's life? Let your partner understand your view on his or her friends. And when you talk about all these things, make sure you're talking, let them know it's for the good. Let them know that your heart is pure, no bad intentions. Let them understand that you're speaking from a point of love. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. See you next time.